Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. Shalom, Biggie. Hello, not Jay.
Hello, Michael.
What up, T?
How's it going?
It's going good, man. Thank you so much. T-Roy in the friggin' his house today.
Coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, I called you up. I was like, yo, man, what time are you going to be done with work? Like, I don't know, like 3. Like, can you fill in today? Like, I got you.
Sure.
I got you. Yeah, we usually will text in the morning, like, hey, what time are we doing it today? And Jay usually wants to go earlier. I want to go later, and we meet somewhere in the middle, or we fight about it, whatever. But we didn't text this morning like we normally do. And E finally is like, what time are we going? Like half hour before 1 when I thought these guys would just show up and we'd go. And Jay's like, I'm on a conference call, man. I'll leave here as soon as I get done. And then what did he text? Like 20 minutes later, he's like, dude, my whole world just blowed the fuck up. I got this brief I got to get in before the day's out. He's like, I'm fucked. I'm like, dude, just do you. I'll go to the bullpen early.
Yeah, it's good to have a backup plan.
Yeah.
I have a much better commute
Yeah.
than Jay, for sure.
Yeah, your commute's a lot easier than Jay's is.
I
So
don't even need shoes.
that's why Jay's not here. He didn't quit. He didn't bail on us. He just he's got one of those days. So anyway, still kind of a buzz around here. I want to send a very special thank you. It's noticed, and I appreciate it to the good Reverend Mike McCool.
Hey.
Come down here after a McCarty show, and you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes people just pick up, well, see you later. It's time for me to go on my merry way. And so there were a lot of people here. It was an exciting night last night around here.
Oh, yeah.
And I, start to nod off on the couch upstairs. Everyone's gone. I can, hear crickets outside. And all of a sudden, there's just, at my, at the door in walking into the woodroom.
Yeah.
Yo, Mike, you up? And I was like, what the fuck? And it's Rev. I'm like, Rev, you're still here? He was down here just making sure that this studio
Clean it up.
was cleaned up and ready to go after they got done last night.
Somebody gets it.
Yeah, so I really fucking appreciated that, Rev. It didn't go unnoticed. Isis, thank you for helping straighten up yesterday before they got here. And how cool was that? I hope people get a chance to go listen to what the Grind Time podcast with Darren McCarty did last night. Chris Osgood came by here.
That was pretty great.
And we watched the whole thing. T and I didn't bother him, didn't come down here and hang out or anything, but watched on the YouTubes upstairs. E, you were here.
Yeah.
And, I didn't know Chris all that well. Like, Darren was the guy in Drapes that, and I didn't know Maltz that well, and I didn't know Ozzy that well. I mean, meet him.
He seems like always quiet.
Yeah.
He always seems real quiet and reserved.
In his press conferences or whenever he did interviews, he was always kind of reserved. And Darren, if you've listened to him or if you're around here, he's like, dude, no, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Osgood's a fucking maniac. Like, he's the craziest dude. He's fucking with people all the time. He's the biggest prankster, and it's like, okay. He came over here, and we flipped the mics on, and that dude fucking went.
Yeah, you get to see him in a whole different light.
Oh, I got to meet Chris Osgood last night.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, some of the stories he was telling. Like, when was the last time you heard Chris Osgood say, God damn it, shit, fuck, motherfucker?
Talk about his ball sack.
Yeah,
Talked about his ball sack, yes.
Dildos.
That was great.
Dude, when he did the dildo story,
He didn't, let's be clear, he
Okay.
didn't sit on a dildo.
No. But when he talked about it, I had been kind of going in and out. I think I was giving him coffee or something.
Yeah.
And I came down and did that, and I was standing behind him, and the emoji where the face is the wide open. I was just standing behind him going, what? And he's like, and then the dildo's flying out of here. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
well, this is what Mac has always talked about is Chris is he would fuck with people and little things he'd put Vaseline all over your phone, the face of it, and then he'd call you. And so you'd pick it up, put it to your face, you just get Vaseline and be like, God damn it. And everybody knew, fucking Ozzy. That story he was telling about, I think, was it Maltby's last game? And he scored a goal.
with the beer.
Yeah, they scored a goal. Thanks for ruining the punchline.
Well, you sound like you didn't look. Never mind.
No, I was setting it up. I couldn't remember if it was his first game, his last game, whatever. But it doesn't really matter. But he scored a goal, and so they do those intermission interviews, on Channel 50 or whatever,
Yeah.
Fox Sports now, where they get a guy going, but into the dressing room that hey, how's it feel out there?
The old Ray Lane days.
Yeah, exactly. And so Osgood's in there first, and he fucking takes Maltby's Gatorade jug of water, empties the water out and fills it with beer, screws it back on and sets it down, and he's just sitting there watching the monitor, just waiting like a fucking child getting ready to open gifts. He's just sitting there. Maltby's like, yeah, finally picks it up, and he says you can hear, barely on the camera, fucking Osgood. Fucking Ozzy. And he said he was legit pissed. He's like, you don't put beer in my water fucking bottle in the middle of a game, asshole. That one What was the dildo one again?
I don't even, I didn't hear it. I must say, I actually want to go back and listen because
it
I
was
was
great.
kind of walking back and forth, and there was some things happening.
Do you remember the details of that one?
A little bit. He was talking. There was a couple. There was the one that was tied to the bumper. The guy was driving around for 3 days with it to the bumper. Went across the border.
Went across
another
the
one-
border. That's right. They're like,
Yeah.
sir,
the one
you
he
know
stuck it under the guy's head cover. The golf outing, and went to go take his drive around the opening tee and whipped the head cover off, and the dildo went flying across the tee box. So yeah, definitely go back and check that out. If you did not see it or haven't heard it yet, take the time. It's absolutely worth it.
Yeah.
It was great to see them in a whole nother light. And you don't get to see Osgood. I mean, you see him on TV, you hear him all the time, but you never get to see him, behind the scenes.
And right out of the gate, like I've talked about it before, it's one of the hardest things to do when you don't know someone and they're coming into your zone. Like there's so many bad shows out there. You don't know if you're walking into Friendly Fire, if you're walking into ball busting, if you're walking into some dork, some guy that's a prick. Sometimes guys are just assholes. They want to be alpha. This is my show, my room. I run this shit. And so it can take a while for guys to put their guard down, to let loose and really open up. Sometimes it's 5 minutes. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome, Chris. How's it good, everybody? The fantastic goalie. How are you? Thanks, Chris, for being here. Talk to you next time. Right. You never know. And so with those guys,
oh yeah, you could tell as soon as he walked in the door.
As soon as he walked in the door, it was just like boom, off and running, man. And it was just great. I think Drapes is coming in next week.
It's unconfirmed.
Yeah.
It's going to happen, but
I saw the texts with Drape, and he's 100%
Yeah,
coming
no,
in.
he's
He
coming
can't
in.
wait. It's either next week or the week after.
I
Whenever
know. Thank
he
God.
can do. Why?
It's crazy for me that the two people in that photo I was talking about are Drapes and Osgood. So the idea that I could get a photo with both these guys of something,
What a great photo too.
incredible.
Yeah.
I got lucky as fuck. And I have I don't have any of other photos from that day. Like and I'm someone who keeps a lot of shit. I don't have any other photos from that day. I went to one of these like Red Wings fests before the season began. And I got a picture on the bench with Osgood and Chris Draper, probably 24 years ago, probably 95.
Yeah.
Or going into 96.
We see if Osgood will come back and we can recreate the picture.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we should get both Ozzy and Drapes in here.
Do
Who's
one
in
of
the
those
picture with you?
This friend. Unfortunately, I don't talk to that guy anymore. I wish
We can
but
find him.
Yeah,
I've tried.
Let's
I've
find
actually
him. Bring
tried.
him in. The four of us will do it every year. We'll do it. We'll get
Do
a new
one of those
picture every year.
25-year challenges. We could do it.
Yeah.
That was so cool, though, man. For me,
Yeah, was that fun
personally.
to sit down here and hang and
It
watch
was
that?
incredible. He
Yeah.
just brought it, man, for sure. And so like I said, I might listen to it again because I was so in and out that I almost wouldn't mind really listening to it again
Yeah.
and being able to take it all in.
Well, I told Darren afterwards, I was like, dude, you fucking hosted a show tonight. You were a host tonight. And he's like, yeah, I know you've been talking about how, it's not about me all the time. I'm like, well, it is. It's your show. It's about you and your stuff. But when you've got a guest like that in, I'm like, dude, you killed it. You set the table. You kept it moving. And a lot of that is, his support staff, too. They're doing a great job, McCool and stuff, kind of getting a game plan together and structure.
Yeah.
And Darren's following it. And it's like, dude, you do shows like that. Sky's the limit, brother.
Yeah,
it
was a home run last night for sure.
it was. You and I sat on the couch and were legitimately laughing our asses off seeing these dudes.
Every time Osgood would swear, I would just chuckle to myself.
That was
I
the
know.
thing. Like when he first walked in, they said Perry was telling him yeah, Drapes is going to be in here next week. I think he said or something, and Osgood just goes bullshit, and I was like, oh shit. He just I didn't even think he was going to swear on the show still. Like I still just thought, okay,
Yeah.
he can swear once in a while. I guess.
Yeah.
I really just imagined him as a totally different person.
Yeah.
Like just really, like I said, conservative almost maybe or buttoned up. I guess
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the funniest thing is, when he got here, he showed up with a buddy of his.
Yeah.
It turns out it's Hot Esus' brother-in-law.
Right.
Travis Bully. He's like, you might know Travis Bully. I'm like, there can't be another Travis Bully out there.
yeah.
And I was like, this is fucking unbelievable. The universe, the way it works.
Small world.
It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun, and what a cool night. I hope people go check it out. I encourage you to go to YouTube too. Watch the damn
Watch
thing.
it, absolutely, yeah.
See,
you can hear it, but it's cool to watch it too, just to see
Yeah.
the interaction and the expression and stuff.
Yeah.
It definitely enhances it.
It was a lot of fun. So, Grind Time Podcast, you can get it wherever you find podcasts. But if you go to YouTube, we put it on the Detroit Cast channel because there's already a lot of subscribers there, so more people get notifications. That's why it's landing there for right now. So if you just go to our channel, you can watch any of their shows, any of ours, anyone that we've done down here. So
Yeah, watch this one.
Yeah, you're going to want to watch
I'm on
this
it.
one, and we'll let you know exactly when Drapes is coming in too, because that's going to be a lot of fun. And It's cool that the banners, that are behind him. Mac signed his, Ozzy signed his, and so we'll get everybody in here.
Yeah, nice.
Maltz and Drapes, and have those all autographed.
Yeah, I realized that in the picture they were taking. Ozzy's right there, Mac's there. They're both standing in front of their banners. Like, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty damn cool. So anyway, moving along. T, you like THC? You're a big fan.
Yeah, I'm
Have
familiar.
been
Yeah.
familiar with the concept
Yeah,
of
been-
GHB, or not GHB, but
CBD.
CBD
Yeah.
and THC.
GHB.
Not GHB. I wish, man. GHB sounds awesome too.
Yeah.
You could just shave 20 years off your life in a
Wouldn't that be
fucking
nice?
week. This black market vape bust. Did you hear about this?
A
son
little
of a
bit,
bitch?
yeah. I was gone all day, but I'm catching a little bit about it.
Yeah, you got to give it to the entrepreneurial nature of these brothers. They're calling it an empire. The police,
Yeah.
an empire that they busted. This is in Wisconsin, large scale operation making tens of thousands of bootleg THC containing vape products. Seized over $1.5 million worth of THC product from a single house.
Wow.
Yeah. Press conference earlier today or yesterday. The Kenosha County Sheriff's Department announced that local authorities made the bust after serving knock and announce search warrants. What is a knock and announce search warrant?
We're here.
Hello, we're here. Open
Boom.
up. I'd be like, yeah, no.
But isn't that what they do with any search warrant? They don't have I don't.
Usually they
understand.
just call it a search warrant. They showed up with a search warrant for something. Knock and announce search warrants.
Sounds something like Wisconsin-y.
Yeah, maybe. They did it at 2 locations in the county. At one property, police seized about 31,200 vape cartridges, each with a gram of oil containing tetrahydrocannabinol.
Cannabinol.
Cannabinol.
Yeah.
Can you say that word?
Tetrahydrocannabinol. Yeah.
Yeah, THC.
Yeah.
I was going to see if I could get through the word.
Nice.
But yeah, it's basically just a code for THC. They also seized 98,000 unfilled vape cartridges, 57 mason jars with about 1,616 ounces of refined liquid THC, and approximately 18 pounds of marijuana.
How many ounces in each jar?
Did it say 57 mason jars, 1,616 E? What's the math on that?
I was looking at something else. What?
So you've got 1,616 of something, and it's got to go into 57 jars.
Jesus Christ! I don't.
That's a lot. How do they
Gotta go
do
into
that?
15.
Like, what is the process, T? Do you know what the process is?
I really
to make
don't.
THC oil.
I mean, a little bit. That kind of thing, I don't know for sure.
See,
like
you don't just take
vape-
the plant and wring it out into a jar.
No. You. There's different ways to extract it. I mean, like I'm more familiar with making butter. But
Yeah.
that's where you just
Make a nice
gotta-
butter.
Thank you. But you just bake it, and literally just cook it in the
Distill
butter.
out.
Yeah, you just melt the butter and let it seep in there, and it cooks into it. But with a vape, that's something different. I'm not sure the way that
It must be
process
easy
is.
to do, right? Fairly easy. I mean, it sounds like they've got quite an operation going here
Yeah.
with these jars. So we've got, let's see, arrested the brothers, Jacob Hoffhines. Of course, his name's Hoffhines. Hell yeah. Jacob Hoffhines, 23, for cocaine and firearm possession as well. They're holding Tyler Hoffhines, who's 20, his younger brother, on several charges. Possession with intent to manufacture, distribute, or deliver more than 10,000 grams of cannabis product. Tyler had 10 employees who manufactured and processed THC while assembling packaging vape cartridges. And these things look like the real deal, dude.
Right.
Like, I'm looking at the packages. They're always cute and, like, kind of Grateful Dead-ish. You know what I mean? They've always got some colorful packaging and
Right.
some, flowery name or something cool. But these looked really professional. The employees filled cartridges with syringes loaded from jars labeled as containing THC oil. They filled the cartridges with 1 gram, 1,000 milligrams of THC oil, though they were labeled as containing just 5 milligrams of THC oil. So it said 1 gram, and they were doing 5. Why would they do that?
Yeah, I'm not sure, I'm
Unless they just didn't know what they were doing.
I'm not. Well, right? Maybe they're giving you more than you're paying for, but I guess I don't really understand them with where their black market is, because these are actually. I mean, it's legal. Well, maybe not in Wisconsin, so maybe that's part of the problem. A lot of these things, the vapes, the THC vapes are common and legal. Well, I mean, medicinally now and things like that, but it's mass produced and sold.
But if you're selling it to high school kids,
Well, obviously, right? That's,
know what I mean?
That's, black market stuff, right? I mean,
which is what they were doing. They didn't have a
But
shop.
so they're just selling it. I mean, then why? If that's how you're selling it, then why go through all the packaging and all the bullshit? That's my question. You know, why
Yeah.
do all the pomp and circumstance to make it look legit? If you're gonna, I mean, unless you're selling them, I don't know, like tobacco stores or something. That's why I'm not really sure about all the details on that because
It's a good question because if you look at the pictures or video from the house, it looks very rudimentary. Mason jars on shelves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
and that's
Filled
the
with-
process. And like I said, but I mean, and I get making them and I get selling them. But as far as the going through the whole process of the packaging and for the distribution side of it, I'm curious of where they were selling them more than anything, you know, because it's,
Well, he paid his employees 30 cents per cartridge. Now I'm assuming that means to move them, not just fill them.
okay,
I'm guessing it. That's just like, so if you've got 10 employees and you go, dude, every one you sell, I give you 30 cents. Here's 100 of them for today or whatever. And I think they were moving like 5,000 a day.
yeah.
So I don't know what the math is on that, Isis. You can get back to us on that. But if
Still
they're,
stuck
you know,
on the other one.
I don't know if that means there's one cook in the kitchen that's just taking a syringe and loading
Yeah.
these cartridges and packaging, and then these guys go out like spiders and just start selling boxes of what look like legit things. I don't know. They filled 3,000 to 5,000 cartridges a day, each which sold for $16. They only get 30 cents, man.
Yeah, right. They're getting robbed.
Yeah, those guys need a union or something. You know what I mean?
Organized.
The best part is, you know, because the cops are all like, "Oh yeah, but I took down this bus, this big bus, you know, put up with this stuff in Wisconsin," and you know, and it's like, so how, you know, this operation was going on for months, right under their nose.
Oh, yeah.
Forever, right under. They had no fucking clue this was going on. What happened? One kid. You know, there's this vaping epidemic going on right now where it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, there's like 6 deaths linked to vaping right now. And so they're really worried about this. And parents naturally are concerned.
Yeah.
You know, their little high school kid comes home and they can tell he's been vaping in his bedroom.
Well, that's why I was wondering if it was something where they were packaging it as not as THC, like they were you know pretending that it was you know just the tobacco vape, you know the legal.
No, they
vape,
were saying-
but it was right. But that's why I didn't really get all of it. It'd be one thing if you were like, oh no, this is just tobacco, and
Yeah.
it was actually weed. Then that's kind of brilliant. That would work way better, I would think.
Yeah, true. But you can tell when it's weed if it's smoked. But I see what you're saying
Yeah.
for distribution purposes
Right.
or whatever. If it's kind of wink, wink. Yeah, this is just tobacco. Here's a
Yeah.
case of them. Your parents come in your bedroom and go, dude, it's
oh,
just
look it right here.
it's
Exactly.
just the vegetable oil.
Got it at Wild Bill's.
Yeah, it's nothing. You can get it at the drugstore. You can get it at the gas station. So the cops have no clue that this empire, as they're calling it, is going on. One kid's shitty parents find him and drag his ass down to the police station. Like, look, he's got vapes and it's bullshit and blah blah blah. Could kill him. And so that starts the process of unraveling. Maybe this kid, they start fucking
There's always
putting
one.
a little pressure on him, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I get it from fucking Tyler and blah blah blah, and all of a sudden the thread starts to come undone,
Yep.
unraveling,
And the whole
and
empire goes down.
boom, done.
Man. See, there's always one.
Probably would have been my parents. You know what I mean? My parents tried to throw your ass in jail.
Well, yeah.
Test him. Go get your machine and test him. So Huff Hines, by the way, this kid's gonna go places. I know he's
Very
this-
entrepreneurial.
This is going to back him up a bit, right? This is going to be a hit on his record for sure. But this son of a bitch, this is not the first time he's gotten national media attention. Last
Really?
time, he ran a successful business selling athletic shoes online as an 18-year-old high school senior. So he's going to be in
yeah.
court Friday. So this kid is not going to be working for other people.
No,
You know,
yeah.
You know, he got a little sidetracked. went a
Definitely
little,
going places.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, you see an opportunity and you take it.
Yeah, right.
And it's a shame because it's just timing at this point. I mean, ironically is that, like I said, I don't know Wisconsin status. They're probably behind. They haven't gone legal yet, but half the country's already gone legal weed. You know,
Yeah.
most of it's medicinally legal. It's about half of it's almost half, I guess, is rec legal now. I mean, we are technically. It hasn't come into play yet.
So what happens if I'm walking down the street? I don't have a card. You know, I don't have a technical medical card, and I know you can't smoke a joint just walking down the street.
Yeah, there's still rules, behind it.
What's the rule with beer? Can you walk? You can't walk down the street drinking beer.
Nope, exactly. Nope, open intox or whatever.
Yeah,
that technically
public,
is.
whatever. But weeds, like we could sit on the porch and drink beers all day.
Yeah.
You can't sit on the porch and smoke a joint,
And
but I think you can in your backyard.
Yeah, it's like you can't see it and things. That's just because they don't know how to fucking handle this yet. Everybody's
Yeah.
still just kid gloves and trying to figure it out as they go. So they're like, we'll just fucking pretend it doesn't exist, but it's legal. It's a weird, like, is it or
Yeah.
is it not? You know, I mean, just
That's what I've always said.
is it or is it not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't. But like I said, it's baby steps. I mean, we've come a long way. You can only
Do you think-
imagine.
do you
from
think at some
fucking
point-
driving around the hood, fucking hooty hoo, looking
Remember-
for fucking dime bags back in the day.
Remember
you know,
that?
to
Remember
now.
those days, dude?
Oh, do I?
Fuck, and you were good at it. You know, we
Sure.
got good at fucking knowing where to go, and
Yeah.
but it's like, here's this thing that just grows in the earth naturally, and
Exactly.
and there's this
Who
whole
the fuck are you to regulate it?
yeah. I mean, the next step has to be federally, like
Yeah,
federally.
there-
That
it's coming.
Do you think that wall breaks down?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's insanity to have half of your states more. I mean, within the next 10 years, it'll probably be almost 100% of the states will finally come along to it. California, Colorado, Washington, those states, kind of kick the door in a little bit, and everybody stopped for a minute. We're like,
What's gonna happen?
oh shit, it didn't backfire. Like,
But it's
so
still
far.
it's still a gray area. It's still like this weird, even the feds are going, fuck, man, we don't even know what to, like, we're not interested in busting a kid with a dime bag
No,
or someone with a
right.
joint. But the fact is, if they wanted to be dicks, the law is still on their side to be
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
dicks.
again,
And
yeah.
that's the scary part.
True.
You know what I mean?
Very
Where it's
true.
like, you can hammer some motherfucker because technically, federally, I wonder, do we get to a day where you can be in Kroger, pick up a case of fucking beer and a bag of weed or your fucking...
Potentially, yeah. I mean, it may not be quite that mainstream, but
I don't know why, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, even some states you can't buy liquor at a grocery store. You got to go to a packaged liquor store, things like that. You know what I mean? There's just different states have different regulations, things like that. Like, I don't think you'll be able
Yeah.
to just go get it. You know what I mean? They're not going to have them at 7-Eleven, that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot more available and accessible, and it's coming, and we've come
Yeah.
a long way, and we're finally turning that corner, and it's going to keep going. So it would be silly for it to stay federally illegal. It's,
Yeah, it's just going to take a brave politician to stand there. It'll probably be someone in California that runs on a platform of like, I'm going to federally, whatever, criminalize.
I don't think that's enough to get you over the hump, but it would
It's a start, but
probably-
once the house of cards starts to fall,
Yeah.
because this started years ago. This started a decade ago at least.
Yeah.
Longer than that probably. The early days of Hash Bash and stuff, where it was like a $5 fine. In Ann Arbor, they didn't really give a shit, but
Yeah.
they
well,
had to
and
look
you
like they
think about it,
cared.
if you look at it chronologically, I mean the whole '60s generation, and you know what I mean.
Flower power.
Well, right, but that's now look where they're at. Now, they're in charge, they're in power, they're you know what I mean. That
Yeah.
whole generation has come through, you know what I mean, and it's cyclical like that. They've come along and like, everybody smokes weed, it's not a big of a deal. It was never,
Yeah.
So it went from being the whole reefer madness back in the day where it was the fucking devil's lettuce, and
Yeah.
you're gonna go crazy and rape and kill if you
Yeah.
smoke the doobie, and so it's just going.
No, you're going to
you
do
know?
heroin the next day.
Right? Yeah,
Is
it's
what
the,
you're going to
the
do.
gateway drug, right?
I don't know that that's totally crazy. Once you go down that road of like not feeling like you normally would, like getting any sort of, beer is just poison to your brain, right? That's what's going on. When you get drunk, it's your body reacting because it's almost like an allergy, and that's what getting high is. And so, while I would never say, "Oh, weed leads to heroin" or fucking whatever, but
No, but-
it makes it easier to go down that road once you open that door.
Sure.
In my opinion,
I mean, yeah, but it's generally not. And that goes for anything though. I mean, a cigarette, smoking,
Sure.
like
Any
beer, anything, alcohol. Any
Yeah.
of that stuff that's altering. Is essentially that. It's just another of those, and really the most natural of them all.
Yeah, and my position is kind of a weird one, I know, because with my past, I've certainly been open about my failings, and but I think every drug should be legal. Fucking all of them.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I mean? Like, and here's what I mean. Like, you want to talk about freedom. What I do to me is my fucking business. It's not the government's business. It's not law enforcement's business. Now, the second I get into a car and go driving on the road and fuck someone up,
True.
now there's a problem, just like with anything else.
right.
but-
Alcohol, any of it.
With any of it.
Yep.
Yeah, so those laws still stand. I get it. Public indecency or public nuisance or
Well, anything in excess, anything can be abused. you know, paint, huffing paint, or fucking sniffing glue,
Oh,
or the
sure.
whippets and things like that. The stuff that you can do that, that are legal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But there's ways to abuse anything.
Yeah.
So
Most of us aren't good boys.
I love that they ID a lot of places ID NyQuil. You know what I mean? And it's like
Really?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in there one time last winter, just looking to get some. I think I had the flu or whatever, and I was looking to get some, and I left my wallet at home, but I had cash on me. And she goes, "How old are you?" I'm like, 35. And she goes, "Well, we're not supposed to serve to people unless they're under 40 without an ID." I'm like, I just
Okay.
told you I was.
I've never understood
I'm like,
that.
should I walk back out and come back in and tell you I'm 40? I'm
Yeah.
30 fucking 5 trying to buy NyQuil, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. I get why they don't want 17-year-olds just walking in there and buying 4 things of NyQuil or something, because it's like they could probably technically get away with it because it's not beer.
Exactly.
But she asked me how old I am, and I'm like 35. Like, well, we're not supposed to do it unless you're 40. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah, those signs that are like, we card anybody under 40. And it's like, well, what does that even mean?
Another one with that is, to me, that's such a weird, stupid line that some people will pull, is like when you're first 21, like if I buy a case of beer, but my 20-year-old friend is with me in line, and they'll sit there and be like, well, he's not 21.
Right.
But they're not going to sit there, and if you're with
I
your
could be with my
daughter,
kid,
right,
right,
they're not going to be like, oh,
Yeah.
excuse me, sir, you cannot be buying this. You have an under 21-year-old person with you.
Can you imagine, like, back in the day, like,
got-
my grandma would send my dad at like 5 to the fucking corner store to get
Just like-
smokes and shit for her.
Right.
it's just how things
You know what I
times
mean?
change, man.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of that. I do. I get a lot of that. I think that you probably should not be allowed to let, your 15-year-old just walk to the thing and be like, yeah, my dad wants a fifth of liquor or whatever. But
Back
like,
in the times when everybody knew each other. It was like, oh,
yeah.
Billy,
Oh,
say hi to your
back in
dad
the
for
good
me.
old days, Mike. No, but some of that stuff, like I said, to me, and I remember the first time I was, because I just turned 21, and so I went to like a Rite Aid that was 24 hours, and I had my buddy, he was like 18, and I didn't even think about it. He was in there, and she's like, well, I can't sell you. I just told him, I'm literally going to go down to Meijer and buy as much as I want. I'll just not put him in the car then. Like, what is the difference, lady?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
if you're not stopping anything.
Technically, that's not.
And it's not against the law.
Right.
That's the
What,
thing.
what,
It's
what
like-
were you saying, E? I'm sorry.
That wouldn't let him buy because
they won't let me buy alcohol because I had an 18-year-old with me in line as I'm 21.
Retarded.
But it's not against the law. It's can be store policy,
Right.
but it's not illegal because it's ridiculous.
But exactly, like I said, I'm in there with my kid.
Yeah, they don't
It's
sit there and
totally
go,
fine,
"Excuse
so
me,
where
sir."
do they draw the line? How
Yeah,
do they
they're
judge?
making a judgment call
Exactly.
that you're not going to drink with your 5-year-old daughter. They're not making the same judgment.
I understand
This 21-year-old
that,
is
but-
not going to be drinking with his 18-year-old
I
friend.
told her, but I didn't. I just told her, like, okay, well, I'm literally just going to go down to the next store.
Leave
and
him in the car.
Leave him in the car and buy it.
And then I'm going to come back by here, and I'm
right.
going to walk in with 2 cases under my arms, wave to you, and then
Right,
walk
I
out.
told her that. I'm like, I'm going to 100%
Superhero.
go to the next
Thanks.
store,
Yeah.
buy as much alcohol as I want, and you know what? Maybe he'll drink some of it. What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
Now I'm going to make sure he drinks
Right.
some of it. I'm going to film him shit-faced and then bring it back tomorrow and show you.
Right.
Hero.
I know.
Way to go, hero. Saving
know.
the community, one person at a time.
I know.
I got turned down not too long ago.
Did
Was,
you?
was that when you and I were together?
Yeah, remember? Yeah, you come in twice because I lost my fucking ID. First
Yeah.
time ever that I've lost my ID. Right? So I'm waiting.
No,
there's
no
a-
need to explain it to E.
There's a weird,
right.
a weird time in between, and I swear to God, I got carded more in that fucking 2 weeks than I have my whole life.
Oh, we were going
And
to
then-
see Vinny.
And then I
At
went to
band
go
practice
stopped
with
to went to go
Sponge.
get beer, and I walk in, they're like, oh no, and I'm like, come on. In what fucking universe am I not fucking 21, right?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I know, but I'm like, really?
And then you come out like a
Fucking
wounded dog.
Yeah,
like,
I'm like, God damn it.
can you
Mike."
buy me beer?
Like the old days at 8 points.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Can you buy me beer? Excuse me, sir. Can you buy me
Should
a
have walked in
porn?
there and bought it and pointed to him in the. They tell him, "Hey, could you just come out and
I
see
think
something?"
you even
that
came
guy in
back.
the car. I'm going to be buying
I
beer,
think
and
Troy
we're
even
drinking
came
it.
back
I
in
did.
with
I
me.
came
It wasn't
back
even
in.
like
I paid for it. I just
Right.
needed an ID to get it, and I'm like, come on, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
Right.
I get it. You know what I mean? But there's, like I said, there's no fucking universe that I'm not 21.
Are they fucking with us? Because my dad got carded like not that long ago. He's fucking 72 or something. He was pissed. He's like,
Right.
you know what? Fuck you, you little asshole. It's like, this is the power you have at CBS, sir. This is the power you're going to wield.
Fuck off.
Although I will say, when I worked at Red Robin, that was not a bad move for like guys. No, but like 40-year-old women or something.
that's a different play.
That
Well,
was
that's
a good.
completely
Make some joke about like I don't want the fake one that gets you into Toronto, into Windsor or something. I want the real.
Don't pull out your Bob's photo ID on me, lady.
Right, and that would actually work pretty well as far as tips would go. They would if you did it right, they would like it.
Yeah, if you played it off like,
And that's not the same, 'cause
I don't know, it's close.
Right, exactly. That's not something where in the end I'm not going to serve them, or if they said they didn't have it, I wouldn't do it. But like,
See, I thought that I'd get to that point where it was like flattering. Well, I'm in my 40s getting carded. No,
That's
it's
annoying
fucking
as
annoying
fuck.
as shit.
Yeah.
Don't make me pull my wallet out again, pull this fucking ID out and show you just how old I am, you ass. It's embarrassing. So,
Speaking of Bob's photo ID, did I ever tell you I got my dad a fake ID back in the day, Don?
no.
My cousin had this trip to like a ski trip all planned, right? And this is obviously back pre 9/11, but he gets my cousin can't go. It's like a week before the trip. It's all booked, it's all paid for, all that kind of stuff, but it's non-transferable. And my dad's like, oh fuck, man, I could go on this whole paid ski trip, but I can't do it. I wish there was a way I could get a thing. I'm like,
What, he just didn't have an ID?
well, it had to be in my cousin's name.
Oh.
Right? So I'm like, well, Dad, I might know a place. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So I literally took Don down to Bob's photo ID.
Get the fuck
Swear
outta
to God,
here.
I actually still have it. I have it. I know. I take it back. I gave it to my cousin because it's my dad's picture and my cousin's fucking info on it in the old,
Tell me it worked.
Michigan. Absolutely worked. Absolutely, it worked. He got on a fucking
Who's going to
plane.
question Don?
I know. Isn't that great? But yeah, he took a ski trip. And
well, now
with a Bob's
they would
photo
scan
ID.
it. I mean, they wouldn't
Well,
even.
it's
They don't
different.
even. Right.
But
they
back in
don't
the
time,
day,
yeah.
this is a time when you could like
It wasn't even
go.
a driver's license.
Right.
It was like a
Just a state ID.
State ID,
card.
yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't very good.
How did
Usually
Bob's-
the picture was like crooked and shit.
How the fuck did Bob stay in business?
because there wasn't the internet and people didn't, stuff like that for
Dude,
sure.
everybody around here. I mean, there's a
Bob's
lot
photo
of
ID,
people
man.
listening to us right now that know exactly what Bob's photo ID is.
Big ups to Bob.
Yeah,
he did God's work for a long time.
And I look so much younger than I am. Like when I'm 21, I look like I'm 15.
Yeah.
So when I was like, all we wanted to do was get into Canada. Like you looked older, and so it was like, okay, Troy, you get the big boy license that says you're 21, and really we just want to go to Canada and not get fucked with. So
Yeah.
it was 19. Was it? You had to be 19 to go to Canada, and so it was like go to get our photo IDs, and the guy's just like name, and then he's looking up at you, and he's just like, whatever, man.
McLovin.
No questions asked, but it's like,
Yeah.
there's no way I'm going to attempt to pull off 21 right now. I
No.
am 19.
Baby steps.
Yeah. And then we got our Bob's photo ID. And eventually, I think ours just got discarded, cut up.
Who knows? Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, like, eventually you'll hit the bar that'll go, suck a dick, man. I'll be keeping these. Go ahead, T. You can do a read there.
Hey, insurance. We all need it. Most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who even provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasick from Wasick Insurance Services change all that. Brent has over 30 years in the business and offers all type of insurance coverage. Auto, home, health, life, business, commercial, and more. Call Brent Wasick at 734-455-1900 and get a free no-obligation quote today. Again, that's 734-455-1900. And ask for Brent Wasick at Wasick Insurance.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, yo.
9/11 yesterday.
It was.
Kind of a weird day. I got stuck watching the History Channel for most of it, as I said I would.
Yeah.
And just crazy, man. It's amazing to me how I've done that every year since 9/11, and every year I'm just as fascinated.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if that's true of everybody. Do you feel like that? Like, does that day like
It does.
hit you?
It comes back, like all the, sort of those feelings, those emotions.
Yeah.
It all comes back, and it's funny because there's not like anything new that really comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It-
there's been so much coverage.
and right, you've seen it all, you've heard it all.
Yeah.
You can get into conspiracy theories and shit if you want, but
loose change and all
right?
that
But
shit.
but still, I find myself, and I'm the guy that I watch a movie one time, fuck it, I don't need to see it again.
Yeah.
But that stuff, I can pretty much watch over and over because it's just
Yeah.
something that's one of those things that's so embedded into your DNA. Where you are, what you were doing, that those things like that you'll never forget and you live through.
And for young people, I get it. I don't have an attachment to the 68 Tigers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I just don't. I don't have an attachment to Vietnam. Like, so I understand how people that are younger, I don't know what they think of it. It's like, oh, God, the old men are talking about that fucking fateful 9/11 thing again.
Yeah.
If it's just a big bummer. But you make a good point. I would say, yeah, there's
Hey,
to your point, T.
Ding.
It does get so much extensive coverage. That's probably in part because of the vastness of the tragedy. I mean, literally ground the country to a halt.
Yeah.
for weeks.
It changed everything in this country. I mean,
It happened in the media capital of the world,
Yeah.
in New York City, and so every story, it's been picked apart to death. You know what I mean? There's very few things from 9/11 you're going to read that you're not familiar with,
Right.
aspects of it, you know? But I'm still just so fascinated by it. And I'm shocked, you know, the New York Times, you know, you've probably got a bunch of young editors and writers working there now. You know, obviously you want to have these millennials. And if you've got a 23, 24, 25-year-old working there that was 6 when that happened,
no,
you know what I mean?
reference.
I don't know that they can have it. And they sent a tweet out yesterday. 18 years have passed since airplanes took aim and brought down the World Trade Center. Today, families will once again gather and grieve at the site where more than 2,000 people died. And people were like, you know what? Suck a dick, New York Times. I know what you do. Airplanes did not take down the World Trade Center. Fucking Islamic terrorists took down the World Trade Center. You know?
Yeah.
And people were like, I see what you're doing, you progressive fuckers.
Yeah.
You know, insensitive assholes. 18 years have passed since airplanes took aim and brought down the World Trade Center. So many people were fucking bitching at them that they had to come out, delete that tweet, and put a new one. We've deleted an earlier tweet, the story, and have edited for clarity. The new post is 18 years after nearly 3,000 people. Yeah, not 2,000 fuckers.
Right, at least get the fucking number right.
Nearly 3,000 people were lost. Families of those killed in the terror attacks will gather at the 9/11 memorial. There will be a moment of silence. Then the names of the dead, one by one, will be recited. Social media describe, you know, people on there are just like, this is embarrassing. This is utterly embarrassing for this trash newspaper. It's supposed to be the voice of the media, you know, basically, the New York Times. People were taking offense that suggested inference that the terrorists hijackers were not to blame for the attack, some urging that it was deliberate that the New York Times did this. Self-flying sentient airplanes committed the attack, right? Flight 93 had a bug in its aiming program. Everybody makes mistakes, but today, 9/11, this topic, really? This is not breaking news, rather a piece of a major part of American history, and thousands of people are suffering because of it, and now you added to the pain by making this mistake. Hashtag not acceptable. What lengths they will go to divert attention from who actually did this. And I agree, man, that you know, that maybe it wasn't intended like that, but it just seems like, you know, there's this whole pushback, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know, peaceful religion. No, yeah, it's just a peaceful Islam. Right. Don't call them Islamic terrorists. Oh, yeah, because then you're banking them all together, and they're not. They're just a peaceful, loving religion. People are like, suck a dick, man. That's who took those fucking buildings down. Don't water it down.
It's a fact, right? I mean,
it's a fact.
Right.
You know, Ilhan Omar, this cunt in Minnesota.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she released a video describing the complete horror of 9/11 after a victim's son wore a "Some People Did Something" t-shirt to the memorial. Ilhan Omar, why would you feel the need to post this like promotional video? And I'll show it to you. It's only 50 seconds long or something. You have it there, E. You know, she's been accused of a lot of things. You know, like not loving America. She's from Somalia. Is everything all right over there, T?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
The
Mute
fucking
button.
the cough button fell.
So here's Representative Ilhan Omar. Go ahead, E. Let's play that.
She's a good-looking lady.
Yeah.
18
Can't
years
tell what her hair's
old
like, though.
when that happened. I was in a classroom in college, and I remember rushing home after being dismissed and getting home and seeing my father in complete horror as he sat in front of that TV. And I remember just feeling like the world was ending. The events of 9/11 were life-changing, life-altering for all of us. I mean, this was, I think, one of the most horrific terrorist attacks that we have lived through. My feeling around it is one of complete horror. None of us are ever going to forget that day.
That glorious
and
day.
the trauma that we will always have to live with.
Yeah. Hey, Ilhan Omar, for whatever. I don't think you need to post something like that. That goes without saying for most Americans.
Yeah. Well, right.
You know what I mean?
But why are
Like-
you mad that she did, though?
Because I don't buy it. I think it's disingenuous with other comments she's made. You know, her support for CARE, which
Yeah.
a lot of the world believes is a fucking front terrorist organization. You know, filtering and money to terrorist organizations around the world, Hamas, Al Qaeda, and they want to. You know, that's the what is it? What does the CARE stand for? The American Relations or whatever, the Center of American Islamic Relations. You know, so she's made so many comments like that, you know, and really it comes back to some people did something.
Yeah.
You know, instead of saying some fucking Islamic terrorists attacked our nation and took down the World Trade Center.
Trying to water it down.
Trying to water, you know, CARE was invented because some people did something and now our civil liberties are in danger and blah, blah, blah. And so you don't have to post a video like that going, no, I'm one of you guys. So I just don't buy it.
I mean, but I know, but she did say what you wanted her to say. Maybe she's realized, I mean.
I don't buy it.
Okay.
You can be
Okay.
satisfied with that. I personally am
I don't
not.
really care, but I'm just saying, I'm just not
Well, I
curious.
do. She's a fucking goddamn representative in our government, dude. You know, I think that's
Yeah.
important. You know, and I just don't buy it personally. And she's upset because she's taking a lot of shit. Nicholas Harris Jr. His mother died on 9/11, right?
Yeah.
His mom, Frances, by the way, should
Okay.
get home to you. Hi, Fran.
Okay.
The New Jersey resident lost his mom in the attack in the World Trade Center, said Omar's comments in April about the atrocity tore my heart apart. He revealed since his address, he's received abuse, accusing him of sexism, racism. He said, I don't know how he was doing an interview last night with Sean Hannity. He said, I don't know how you handle it, Sean. All the hate mail you get, I've had a little taste of it today. It's not very nice. And maybe the worst thing that was said was that I was a cranky old man with a bad haircut. But seriously, charges of racism, the fact that she's a woman of color has nothing to do with it. She's a woman, doesn't make a difference. She's Muslim, doesn't make a difference. It had to be said, and she needed to respond. Some people, he said, some people did something, said a freshman congressman from Minnesota. Today, I am here to respond to you, Omar. Exactly who did what to whom. He's wearing a T-shirt. Some people did something.
Yeah.
So you know how people go up and they take turns? They'll have like two people at a podium,
Right.
and they'll just read off the names of all 2,900 plus people, and they'll ring the bell at the time, you know, of impact, and then the building's falling. It's a big ceremony down at the
every
down
year.
at the site every
Yeah.
year. And so this guy's up there at the podium wearing a "Some People Did Something" T-shirt.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, some people did something, said this freshman congresswoman. Today I'm here to respond to you, Omar, exactly who did what to whom. Madam, objectively speaking, we know who and what was done. There's no uncertainty about that. Why your confusion? Our nation's founding on Judeo-Christian principles were attacked. That's what some people did. Got that now? On that day, 19 Islamic terrorists, members of Al-Qaeda, killed over 3,000 people and caused billions of dollars in economic damage. Is that clear? We are here today, Congresswoman, to tell you and the squad, who are the other three young
Right.
women of color, I guess, that are in Congress now. Who did what to whom? Show some respect in honoring them, please. American patriotism and your position demand it. Omar told the audience at a fundraiser for the Council on American Islamic Relations in April. She claims now, because she got so much heat for saying some people did something, that she's like, no, I was so taken out of context. I was talking about the white supremacists who went into the New Zealand church and murdered 50 people. That's who I meant when I said some people did something. So now, thinking that, okay, do you buy that as an excuse? Here was her actual quote in April at a fundraiser for CARE. CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
Yeah, sounds like the white supremacist for sure.
Yeah, that happened 20 years later, 15 years later in New Zealand. What the fuck are you talking about, lady?
It's a Hail Mary.
Yeah. Oh, totally taken out of context. This guy says, I'm a victim's son, and I decided to take 9/11 as my one day of perhaps credible standing to make that statement, which many people who have told me it represented their views as well. Yeah, New Zealand terror attacks, white nationalist. Yeah, just throw it on the white nationalist fucking asshole. Anyway, I don't know. It's a weird day. It's every time there's a day, it's like, oh, hey, how'd you celebrate last night? But it's never a celebration.
Yeah,
it's weird and
it's a day of mourning essentially, and
Yeah.
and reflection and a lot of things. Because like I said, it changed the country, changed us all in a way. It stole our innocence. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It was, yeah.
It's weird because you're right. Everyone woke up that day. Like we were used to watching around the world.
Yep.
Like God, thank God we don't live in a shithole like that where you got car bombs going off, and it seems a world away. And we just all believed in this innocence. Like, oh, anyone tried to do that to us, fucking warheads would pop up from the ground and take anything out,
Yeah.
And it was like, oh no, shit.
Yeah.
We're just as vulnerable as anybody else. I got to tell you though, man. I don't like this feel like there's very few things that absolutely join the country. If you remember, like President Bush, I believe, had like a 95% approval rating after that, the
Right.
response.
Yeah.
The country's mayor was Giuliani with support. And the whole fucking country, you never saw more patriotism in your life.
Yep.
Vietnam, different story. Half the country thought you were killing and murdering babies and fuck all in Nam. And you know what I mean? Like you couldn't come together on anything. But this one, and so I don't like seeing hearing little cracks in that day. It's like, don't tell me we're going to get so removed that this is just going to be like a get over it day.
Yeah. Get watered down, right?
Yeah. And do you feel
It will. Hell yes, it will.
I know it will.
Eventually.
It sucks, man.
But don't you think
It
it's
already is.
Talk
I
to your
mean-
I feel it, right?
But talk to your dad and stuff, or people that maybe not your dad even. You'd have to be a grandpa. Like talk to them about Pearl Harbor and how. Do you remember what day it exactly is, or?
D-Day?
Yeah, no. The day that will live in infamy. What is it?
December 7th?
Okay, it is.
Pearl Harbor.
But
Yeah.
but my point is like
My grandfather was there, Jesus. How dare you?
thought
See,
he was asking
exactly.
about
You're
9/11.
just look at you joking about it. You don't look at you
Do
joking
you
about
remember
it.
what day 9/11? I'm not joking about anything.
Yes, you
My
are.
grandfather was there.
I know, but are you saying you're laughing while you're saying it?
Yeah,
That
I
was
know.
a huge deal. That brought us into World War II.
Oh, Jesus. I hope you got that on camera. Was the camera on you?
I don't know.
Let's hope.
You just drooled.
I
like-
know. I know. I just spit on myself.
On that fancy shirt? Come on.
I know. Look at what happened today with this shirt, dude.
Holy
I
that's
don't know what I'm
today?
gonna do. I love this shirt though.
Cut your arm off and then sew the flap down to the shirt.
Okay, maybe. Well, I'm not gonna do it, but someone maybe will. But anyway, I don't know. That's my point, though. I cry for that shit too. I literally do. I didn't actually watch any yesterday. It's the first day since that I've not done that. But
Yeah.
when you say some of that stuff, I'm just saying, dude, it's human nature.
No,
No one gives a fuck for the most part.
I
about
know.
Pearl Harbor.
I know. I understand that. And as younger generations come up, they're going to have the same feelings. That's kind of how the conversation started, about 68 Tigers. And Jay and I were talking about it one day, and it was like, dude, the 68 to 84, 68 to 78, that's less than 20 years. It's 15 years.
Yeah.
So think about when the Wings won the Cup last. You know what I mean? Like 15 years has gone
know.
by.
Well, dude.
So it's like it's already that difference. And like, do you give a shit about the 68 Tigers? Like,
It's a generation, essentially. That's
Yeah.
I mean,
When
that's
I
all it
sat
takes,
there-
to be one generation removed from something.
Yeah.
To have not lived it, and not experienced it. And it just desensitizes.
it's,
When I
do,
sat-
do you
oh, sorry.
think though? Sorry,
No.
and I'll let you finish your thought.
All right.
See, I always thought like back when the world was in black and white, I just struggle to get into watching documentaries and whatnot when it's like they hadn't even turned the lights on yet. We didn't have color yet. The world was black and white. And so I watched like, World War II, Pearl Harbor, and it's like it just doesn't have the impact of when the world got color. And so, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
hard to watch grainy,
Although, I mean-
non-HD, fucking, the box TV version with the black bars on the side coverage of that shit.
Well, I'm a terrible example because I watch Civil War stuff all the time, and they didn't even have videos back then. So,
That's
I
your
mean,
jam, though. You're a big
I know, but
Civil
that's my
War
point,
guy.
though. But like, look at what Steve Eiserman, dude. Like, we're gonna sit like when I was a kid, you know what I mean? That even Gordie Howe, like, it'd kind of be like, oh, and today randomly Gordie Howe is here for some reason, and then there'd be this standing ovation. But you'd look around and see these old men kind of be like, Gordie. And I
Yeah.
was just like, kind of like, that guy.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
He's
I know.
a big deal.
Ted Lindsay.
And we're going to sit there with Eiserman. There's going to be a time 10, 15 years, 20 years from now, they'll be like,
Just be a
and
name.
welcome back Steve Eiserman. And we'll be like, oh my God, the captain.
You have no idea what he did for this.
And this kid will just be like,
It takes depth. Like Ted Lindsay, I saw Ted Lindsay 1,000 times at the Joe. He was there all the time.
time, yeah.
Gordy was there all the time.
Right.
And Ted's just a wisp of a man. If you say he's got his little suit on and he's just a wee wisp of a guy, and he'd be there signing autographs, and it's like, yeah, whatever. He dies, and then you read, and it's like, oh, this is the motherfucker that's responsible for collective bargaining agreements and like players unions. Like he revolutionized hockey. Like I didn't know all that. It's like until they die, it's like I'm not deep diving into these guys that
Sad. That's what it takes.
I know.
to really get to know somebody a lot of times.
you know
we all
it
just
kills
go
me
through our
that
own shit, man. That's the thing. We're all going through like our day to day, dude. And it's like, think about how many people are dying every day. How many people died in Michigan today? You don't know who they fucking are, and you don't care because you got to go get your smokes or you got to go get a beer or this. Not that wasn't even pointing at either. I'm just thinking of things we do. You're in the freeway and you're like, this fucking accident. Fuck this person. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's like, then maybe you go out and see they're dead, and you go, oh no, damn, sorry.
thoughts and prayers.
I mean, I sit there
Have to
sometimes
tweet
and be
about
like,
this
this
later.
person better be fucking dead because I'm late right now.
I may have said that a few times.
I will say it more times as we go forward in life.
See?
No, it's just it's why I laugh so hard, and Jay kind of gives me shit about it when it's like I don't like the disingenuousness. Is that
Sure.
a word?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Did I get that? Disingenuousness. It was. There's an N at the end. Disingenuousness.
Yeah.
Disingenuousness.
We'll go with that. We'll
Okay.
go with that.
I don't like the disingenuousness of. Still feels wrong, but whatever. Of thoughts and prayers by everybody. It's like birthday wishes on Facebook, or you feel like
Whose birthday wishes?
Shut up, E.
Happy birthday, Amy.
There you go, Amy Zempel. Happy birthday, Amy.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Ben Carter, my boy.
Hey,
my boy Ben
Big
Carter's
Ben.
birthday today. I'm sure there's others too.
There must be somebody else.
But
Maybe.
it's like you don't mean that. You don't mean that. Stop it. Stop doing that. Stop.
If Facebook didn't tell you, you weren't gonna
didn't
throw
know.
that out there.
You wouldn't fucking remember. You wouldn't
If
know.
the card wasn't in the mail 3 days ago, you don't
Yeah.
fucking get credit for it.
The mail was brought in today, and there were a couple cards in there.
Sure.
And they were really well done, written, long things about what it means for me to be in their life and examples and how important, blah, blah, blah. Packages arrived on the door the day today.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's someone in your life that,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, knows you and loves you, really. You know what I mean? Not like, I get the same notifications you motherfuckers
Exactly.
do.
Right.
I know all your
8 o'clock
birthdays.
in the morning. Ding! It's four
Bing.
people's birthday. Hey, well,
like,
fuck! Happy birthday,
well,
you! Happy
of-
birthday, you! Happy birthday, you!
And
8:02.
to
I
you.
am done.
And then a cake emoji for you, a candles lit on a cake emoji for you,
Confetti one. Boop.
the flash one, see if I can't fucking send you into a goddamn convulsions one, happy birthday, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
All the flash shit. But yeah, it's like, dude, no, you don't give a shit about the guy that got in a car accident. You care, not that he's dead or severely wounded. You're pissed that you're a half hour late to get home to play Madden.
But you also can't. That's the other thing, though. You can have the most. I think a lot of empathy. I think you do too. But you can't. You have so much fucking. If you sat there and thought about everything,
Yeah.
you would just be in the corner of a room crying,
Right.
like
I-
shaking.
You got to
Dude.
be in a bubble. You have to insulate yourself in a way.
Well, I'm ashamed at the fact that my grandfather was in Hawaii at Pearl Harbor the day it was bombed. I knew my grandfather. My grandfather thought I was the greatest of all the family. He didn't care for my dad that much. My mom thought my brother was soft, didn't really care for my sister, and thought I was the cat's fucking ass. He thought I was the shit. He loved my job. He loved everything about me. I was his favorite by a landslide. Ask anyone in my family. Fuck all of them. It was them and then me.
Yeah.
And I never asked him a single fucking question about Pearl Harbor. And thank God my mom sat down with him before he died.
Who?
Huh?
Just kidding.
Before he died and tape recorded him. And I played Patricia. And recorded
That nice
him.
voice.
Shut up, Jesus. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm trying to make a point here. Recorded him, asked him a shitload of questions, and I got to hear this fucking great man who,
Yeah.
you know, and subtle things that made that the greatest generation.
Oh, yeah.
Things where, you know, my mom knew the truth about some atrocities that were, you know, at the time, we don't have enough food. We captured these fucking assholes. We don't have enough food to feed ourselves. We got 6 potatoes. Toss them overboard. Fuck them. You know, spin the boat around and send those motherfuckers back out to sea. My grandfather wouldn't tell that story on a microphone. He said, I'm not going to say anything that would ever disparage my brethren in the military or against this country. Never. If you want to tell those stories, Pat, go ahead. But you're not going to have my voice on record speaking of this.
Right.
And I played those tapes on the show, and I never got more response. People loved it.
Yeah.
And it's like, That's the reality. Once I read Ted Lindsay's story, it was like, fuck, man. You know, once I got that account from my own grandfather in his own voice, it meant, you know, and he worked really hard. And I joke about, oh yeah, you know, he worked at the golf course as a starter, and you know, the fucking Japanese guys, just have a seat, motherfucker. We'll let you know when your time's up. And they'd sit there for hours. He wouldn't let him tee off. And in the end, he came around, but he still harbored some shit, man.
Oh, sure.
You know, and I think he was pinpointed. My mom's like, well, and he's like, I'd never buy a Japanese car. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's where he'd gotten to.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'll let them tee off now.
Right.
But I ain't buying their fucking car.
No.
You know, it personally meant something. I don't know where I was going with that. But
Who knows?
anyway, but yeah, I guess it all comes back to the, you know, God, what's the fucking holdup up there, man? That guy better be dead.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm being disingenuous.
I think it gets to you too much, though. I do think it gets to you too much. I don't know why it bugs you
What do you
so
mean?
much. That worrying about what these politicians mean. Of course they don't.
It's all
Because
bullshit.
as I get older, I realize just how much authority and power they have. And I don't want that to be taken lightly. You know?
But,
I
but
don't-
they've been like that. Humans. That's just humans.
I know.
That's
This is America.
So, but the point is, it was like that 100 years ago, and it was like that 500 years ago, and it's just that you see. Yes,
Well-
it was. You just see it more than you did.
No, I don't
Yes,
think that's
it
true.
was.
You think
Well,
you
yes.
think it was a very diverse platform in Congress?
It wasn't
100 years
diverse,
ago?
but that doesn't mean they were.
Well,
that doesn't mean that they. Okay,
no.
well then you could go at the argument that they were all white, pretending that they cared about race and stuff, and they really didn't care. So
Everything's under such a microscope these days, too.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
you say, everything you do, everything, you know, I mean, there's zero privacy. I mean, it's a
and they
different
have to.
time.
By the way, they have to do those things if they want to keep. I mean,
Right.
it's part of the job.
I mean, it'd be nice
right?
if they just
when you
actually
talk about some of the
fucking meant
job
it.
that you have to do, some things that you don't necessarily want to watch at times, maybe.
Sure.
That's part of your job, and you do it. If they want to do that job, they have to do that shit. I wouldn't
Well-
want to do it.
she had to put that video out
I get it. I know.
because a lot of people questioned
Yeah.
her loyalties.
Yeah, it was damage control.
Yeah, exactly.
sure.
That's perfect. Damage control. Well, why do you have to do damage control? I don't have to do damage control. No one's going to question what T. Roy thinks about 9/11 or me.
Right.
Okay, but one topic. I mean, if someone found a topic, they decided that you said something one time, and then you kind of
they probably could.
You've come back before and said, I said something, and I thought, you know what I mean? So
Sure.
So
Sure.
On this topic, you're
I
right.
know, and all I said, I don't fault her. I understand why she did it. I'm not that naive.
Just don't buy it.
I don't buy it.
Yeah,
That's
see
all I'm
it
saying.
okay.
I don't buy it. I've watched a lot of her comments, and I don't buy that one.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
Is what it is. Let's switch topics drastically.
Sure.
California lawmakers passed a bill that could see college athletes hire agents, sign endorsement deals, and get paid. I don't know how I feel about this. This is up, you know, this will hit the governor, Gavin Newsom's desk now, and if he signs it in to law, this could change everything for California colleges and athletes.
I guess
and-
I don't see how one state can change that. You know, I mean, how?
California thinks it can do anything
They
it
sure
wants.
fucking do, don't
Yeah,
they?
they got quite the set of balls on them.
Yes, they do. You know, I mean, there's just the. I mean, the NCAA is a national organization, so
Yeah.
unless they somehow secede and become the fucking, you know, the Cal 10 or whatever, you know what I mean? That I don't see how that they can do it. You know, and I have mixed feelings about it too. I know that there's a lot of points to be made on both sides of that, but
For sure.
I had this discussion today, and I just think I disagree with it. I just don't think there's any way of doing it fairly, equitably, and because who do you
There's
pay?
not.
How do you pay?
I think it gets
But,
way
man,
lost, by
with
the
a-
way, that they're getting scholarships. I really think that gets thrown under the bus as if just
Right.
no big deal. And it's
Well,
like,
that's a
but-
big
but
part
dude,
of it, and
that could
but a lot of them
that's-
don't either. I mean, there's a lot of that.
Well, no, but I'm-
scholar athletes. I mean, probably
A lot, most.
maybe,
When,
that
if
don't
you do
get
if you do all three divisions,
all of it, and right in all sports.
I understand.
yeah.
That
But I'm
they
saying,
don't-
but on the same end, when we're talking about paying, no one's talking about paying the tennis people. We're
Right.
talking about paying football,
Why?
basketball.
Why? Because they make the most
Because
money.
they make the
That's
most
fun-
money.
Fuck that. That's the problem, though. That they're not just because they fucking play football and some girl plays tennis that they're more deserving. Fuck that. That's why I disagree with it.
Well-
Unless there's a way somehow. I mean,
Right.
I just
the NCAA is a governing body.
Yeah.
Right. Its job is to oversee Division 1, 2, 3 universities of 50 states.
yeah.
To act like California can just do its own thing and what happens then? So that goes into law. Now you've got Stanford, USC, UCLA, Cal, the big ones. Which,
Yeah.
So now they're semi-professional football teams.
Yeah.
I mean,
What do you think the governing body of the NCAA is going to do with that?
Well, they lose
They're
their...
going to say, "Fuck you! You don't get to play in the NCAA anymore."
Exactly. Well,
Because-
right. They would have to secede from that and be their own thing. There's just no way that they could be, because they lose their amateur status. But
Yeah.
the moment they get paid or get an agent or even contact an agent,
Yeah.
essentially, you lose your eligibility. You lose your amateur status.
Yeah, and what would happen if they didn't? If they said, "Okay, in California that exists," what athlete
is going to go.
is going to go to Michigan
Right.
when he could go to fucking Cal and get an agent, sign some endorsement deals, get paid?
But who?
Like
I mean,
you would front load
big-
all these
big
universities.
picture, who the fuck's actually going to do that? If the repercussions for that is that, great, the little California schools can do their own little thing with each other. There's not enough for everybody to go there. There's not enough. You know what I mean? Everybody that plays fucking sports can't go to fucking California schools.
But they just they cherry pick the top ones. You would front load entire football teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If it was like, oh yeah, you get a cut of your jersey sales, you would assemble a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And that's the NCAA is urging Gavin Newsom, the governor. Look, man, this is not a threat, but don't sign this into law.
Now, see,
Because-
that's an interesting point that you put there. Like a cut. See, I see that as sort of a different way. Talk about paying players and things like that. A cut of your jersey sales.
I know.
See, now that's a way
tricky.
to think where, right? Well, I mean, that's a way where they could potentially earn money. You know what I mean? That give them some value, but not, But yeah, nobody's going to go buy a fucking tennis skirt for the girl at USC. You know what I mean, or
crew
whatever it
team's
is.
not gonna sell enough jerseys
No, I get
to-
it, but to
They're
just
saying,
flat
though-
out say that they're going to pay them, that
The NCAA is saying, look, eventually California universities would be banned from NCAA competitions.
100%.
That's the way this would go because of the unfair recruiting advantage.
Immediately.
If you can say, hey, come here and we'll give you a few bucks and we'll give you a cut of your jersey sales, you're going to be a starter in 2 years and your jersey's going to be flying off the shelf. You'll make 10 grand a month.
Right.
You know what I mean? What kid's not going to want to take that?
Yeah.
These outcomes are untenable and would negatively impact more than 24,000 California student athletes across 3 divisions. The state assembly and Senate sent the bill to the governor without a dissenting vote. Okay, so in what Republican Assemblyman Kevin Kiley said was a loud and clear message to the NCAA. So it won like 39-0. And several Republican senators noted they planned to vote against the bill, but changed their mind after listening to the debate and in some cases lobbying from their children. This is one of those situations where I think we need to blaze the trail, said Senator Jeff Stone, who said his daughter played water polo in college. She's not selling any water
no,
caps.
right? What? It just there's just no way of doing it across the board. If you could put something, if you could show me anything to show, okay, what? First of all, the major sports, the football, the basketball, really,
Yeah,
that's it.
that's it.
Right,
There you go.
exactly. Boom.
Hockey in
That-
some instances, maybe.
Hockey
Yeah,
and baseball in
a
some
few-
places.
some schools,
Some
yes.
small.
But that pays for everything else. That is the money that goes back into the academic program or the athletic program. Excuse me.
They should
for the rest
realize
of the
that more
school.
too. Some of those people, I think you're right. They get to the point where they like, fuck football. I'm over here doing track and field,
Right.
and
Fuck
it's
up.
like,
where do
dude,
you think that
should-
scholarship
What if they
came
told
from?
you
Where do you
that,
think
hey,
the money from that scholarship
right,
came
yeah.
from? So if you're going to take that money and now distribute it amongst the players, it's not going towards the other parts of the school. I mean,
Yeah.
the other sports.
The problem, though,
Who the
is
fuck's going to pay?
the problem is if you go back 20 years, you didn't have multi-billion-dollar TV deals,
True.
and so these guys are getting money rained on them.
True.
They're swimming in cash
Yeah,
because
that's
of these
getting crazy.
massive. Like college football has become its own massive basketball.
Yeah.
It just wasn't like that 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It wasn't even up for debate. So the bill would allow students to hire agents and be paid for the use of their names, images, or likeness. It would stop California universities and the NCAA from banning athletes to take money. It would forbid athletes from signing endorsement deals that conflict with their school's existing contracts. So you couldn't sign with Adidas if you're in a Nike school, basically is what that means. You couldn't have your own personal side deal with Puma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it becomes law, it would take effect January 1st, 2023. Senate voted 39-0 yesterday to pass the bill, which has the endorsement of LeBron James, who skipped college, ironically, himself.
right.
You know, just before they made the one-year rule, so he
Yep.
was able to go right to. The bill could impact James' 14-year-old son, who is closely watched basketball prospect in Los Angeles. I think Junior will be okay.
Probably.
I think LeBron James Jr.,
Is that his name? Is he actually LeBron
I
James
think
Jr.?
he is, and LeBron regrets that.
I would hope.
The pressure that he put on
Yes,
his
right?
son by
That
naming
would've-
him a junior.
Dick.
The kid better, unless he fucking lives up to half his old man. It's kind of like Walter Payton's kid or any of those. It's just, Barry Sanders' kid.
All the George Foremans.
The NCAA, yeah, even Georgina. The NCAA has long banned paying athletes to preserve the academic missions of colleges and universities, but they've morphed into this multi-billion-dollar industry, igniting a debate over the fairness of not paying the industry's most visible labor force. In other words, football and basketball, men's divisions only.
Yes,
And we were
exactly.
talking D1, not
Yep.
D2, not D3. Period. End of discussion.
Exactly.
This is all about that it's about. And already, the committee has already said it won't endorse a plan to pay athletes if they were employees, but the organization could ease limits on endorsement deals for athletes. And they've already sort of done this a little bit. If you go to the Olympics, for instance, and you win some prize, you can keep that, and not
Yeah, well, right. They've laxed some of that stuff, but that's
tennis players can make like 10 grand in winnings,
can you some
Prize money?
golf exemption? I think of some of that, some of the amateurs
Maybe.
and things like that. That there's some loopholes, right?
Yeah.
As long as you don't turn pro.
Yeah.
When you can do it and then like go back, you get certain exemptions.
Can they so ease limits on endorsement deals so Olympians can accept winnings from their competitions. So if the Olympics doesn't pay you, I mean, you can medal in but if you're an Olympian and you're doing other skiing races or something and there's prize money on the line, I'm assuming they mean
Yeah, I'm not sure how that
That-
works, right? Because there isn't technically money for the Olympics, right? There's no prize.
No,
money
I think
anyway.
it's all
just
about-
endorsements and
it's about pride of nation and medaling. But Olympians,
it
I'm
all
assuming
comes down to money. Fuck that.
Yeah. Democratic Senator Holly Mitchell went to high school with Reggie Miller. Remember Reg?
I do.
Mitchell said she believes Miller's sister Cheryl was the better basketball player, but her professional options were limited after her collegiate career at USC. That included 2 national championships. This is also a gender parity issue for women athletes at the collegiate level.
So she could beat Reggie one-on-one?
Yeah, well, she's a better athlete.
Yeah, sounds right, yeah.
Why didn't she? Was she on the Pacers for a bit?
No, did
No,
she?
I
don't
don't
think she made it.
But she's a better athlete than Reggie, and Reggie had like an 18-year career.
Yeah. No, I'm
I
just
remember him
curious.
hitting long threes. A
lot of them.
Really good.
Yeah.
Catch and release.
She was way better.
Way better. According to Democratic Senator Holly Mitchell. This is a gender parity issue for women athletes at the collegiate level to benefit financially when they don't have the same opportunities as their male counterparts. Make a sport worth watching then.
Well, hey,
There was
Yeah.
a time when there wasn't a value in men's hockey, in men's baseball, in men's football. It grew, and as it gained interest, it's kind of like a band. Not every band deserves to make $20 million a year,
true.
right?
It's a good example.
Yeah. I've been in bands. I didn't deserve to make $20 million a year or
Nope.
play at LCA or Comerica Park. I didn't. I would have loved to.
Yeah,
It's not because I was a white male or if I was a woman.
you were doing it. You were. It's
because-
you're obviously more talented than most of the others.
Fuck Pearl Jam, man.
Yeah,
I got this
exactly.
shit. If I went and went to Ticketmaster and said I've booked LCA, I'm putting on a show. My band Blackwater Station or Gift Horse is going to be performing a show, and I put on, I announce on all my social media platforms and go, guys, there's a pre-sale on Thursday night, but at 10 a.m. Friday, tickets go on sale.
They go live.
Get your Gift Horse tickets at 10 a.m. You want to be online early.
Right.
How many tickets am I going to sell? Seeing as I couldn't get people to go to the bar for free if they
Yeah.
weren't my friends to watch me.
No, zero.
Do I deserve money for that?
Exactly. No, it's just a different level, man. It's this whole equality. I mean, listen. If
What was that?
if it was the same, we wouldn't need the WNBA, right? You could just all be in the NBA.
all
If
be in
she
the
was-
NBA.
right? If she was a better athlete,
I've said on this show before. I don't watch it as much as I used to, and but I do watch WWE still, and it's like the women's division in the last few years has gotten really, really pushed to
Awesome.
the top.
MMA too.
And it's good. It's really good.
And
The
those
women-
broads deserve to be paid absolutely
100%,
paid out the
100%.
ass.
But-
But if they're a draw, when you're the headliner at an event like SmackDown,
Right.
The women's match, what was it at? What was
WrestleMania had
WrestleMania had
it was
a headlining
headlining women's event. But
on to pay the shit out of them.
But here's the thing. On the same hand, when I was watching the Royal Rumble last year, now they've done a men's and women's Royal Rumble. They didn't used to do that. And they have, I'm sorry, it's still just not the same. When the women, she's sitting here in the commentary, they have this girl that does a commentary, and she's talking about it. And you can tell they're just trying to tippy-toe around how this is just as good as the men's.
Yeah.
But it's not, because
And
they're
you
not
know
going
it's
off the
not.
top rope
Right.
doing, they're
Right.
good. It's really good.
It's double A,
way
triple
better.
A, but it's just not the major.
Yeah, and it's just so funny.
And the question is, without them there, without that match there, does it still sell out? Is it still
Yes.
a fucking now? If you take the men's matches away and just have that chick match you're talking about, where is it at? Meadowbrook,
Right, and dude, it's so much.
You know?
and
River
no
Rouge
question,
Arena.
Just from
local
me,
high school gymnasium,
just from me
my
watching.
backyard.
I went to Raws at the Joe Louis, where when the women's match came on, that was beer selling time. That was go to the bathroom, get a beer. It is not like that anymore. But it's still,
Which
they're
is
just
great.
not
I
as
have-
good as the men.
I have
Sorry.
no problem with that though, E.
Right.
That's what I bitch about. It's like, you know what? Do it the way that everybody else did it.
Right.
Mickey Redmond had a fucking off-season job every year.
Right.
Right? He's a
Exactly.
Hall of Fame legend, professional hockey player who had a job. Gordie Howe had a job.
Right.
Until the sport got to where it was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, there's real money. These guys don't need seasonal jobs anymore.
No, some of the
Women-
women finally stepped up and fucking said, no, we're going to do real wrestling, and we're going
Yes.
to learn to do real wrestling, where it's entertaining as
Yeah.
fuck.
Yep.
They didn't just, it can just
Women's
get handed
tennis,
to them.
professional women's tennis is more exciting than men's tennis, and those broads are paid.
Yeah.
Right.
Deservedly so. They
It's because
earn that.
men is just
Yeah.
fucking
That's one of the
100
few
mile an hour
sports
serves.
that translates in a way.
Softball,
Yeah.
girls softball is fucking great. Honestly, great to
Right.
watch,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah, but it's not.
And I
gonna-
even like it. I enjoy
I'm-
women's basketball. I really do. I mean, I think
Yeah.
fundamentally, it's a much better game.
like those
than-
chest passes and bounce passes.
Hey,
I'm just
listen.
kidding.
Well, yeah, because it's not. They don't play it above the rim.
Right.
They actually have to run legitimate plays and fucking pick and
For
roll
sure.
and fucking box out and things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That they're just pure athleticism doesn't get them.
I just can't get into it, and I'm not alone.
Sure.
You see it in the arenas, and you can't dissolve that league. The NBA is holding that fucking
Such a funny situation.
WNBA is a
yeah.
bankrupt league
yeah.
by a mile.
Yeah.
Bankrupt as fuck.
They're just dragging them along.
They're just dragging this dead weight along with
Right.
them.
Which
and,
is-
and my thought is the WNBA fucked up. Why not play above the rim? Drop the dude. Women are smaller.
play a 9-foot rim.
Play in an 8.5-foot rim.
Whatever.
Smaller ball. Get
Yeah.
up there and fucking be slamming your titties in some bitch's face and posterizing her. You know,
Yeah.
drag your bush across some bitch's head as
Right.
you dunk on her.
It's
I mean,
just so funny. It's like,
Throw them in bikinis to
Kind of a
start the
great
league.
idea, yeah.
Bikinis on a 7-foot rim and just fucking bam. People would watch. I watched the lingerie bowl.
Sure.
Not because the football's awesome.
right.
Got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere.
they talk
Sex
about that
sells.
equal. You're right, though. They talk about that, and it's just so funny because it's like they don't even see it. The WNBA doesn't make fucking money. It shouldn't be there.
Bankrupt.
In
But
a
it's the
way- like,
secret. We all just got to go, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
No, they're great.
Pretend it's that exactly.
Can't
They're
believe they
great.
don't make the same money as Kobe Bryant. Or Kobe Bryant, what a terrible example. It's been so long. I don't know why that came to my head. Kobe Bryant. Old
No,
man
it's
and pussy.
it was the fucking gall too. The nerve. With the women like, we work just as hard as the men, like the hockey thing.
right.
Remember
when
they-
they,
the
were
Soccer,
playing in like
too, right? That just-
high school
they
arenas.
just
Soccer.
coming along that they should be paid more than that they should make the
Yeah,
men's
that-
money to say
That's a tough one because I was going, yeah, these bitches do deserve fucking twice what the men make. And Jay says, dude, as far as international play goes, the fucking women aren't gonna pay. I'm like, all I know is what I see on my TV. I can't name anybody. I can name almost all the lesbians on the soccer team.
Yeah.
Can't name anybody on the fucking men's team. Do they even have a men's team? Those girls should be paid out the ash. They should get real endorsement deals. They're on cover. They're at the White House.
Oh, you don't think
should
they have
be.
real endorsement deals?
Yeah, they do.
I am sure.
But they're not paid what the men are. They're not. According to Jay, he was saying, fuck no, man. And
On their endorsements?
I don't know about their
That's what I'm
endorsements.
saying. No,
Yeah,
I mean on the play.
on the pitch.
Yeah, on the pitch.
Yeah,
Excuse me. Right.
Come on, man. Tottenham.
Right. Well, it is what it is. I mean, fucking get what you can get where you can get it.
But the hockey where the girls are like,
Nobody made them play.
we're sitting
soccer.
out this league. We're not going to play this season until we get to, and it's like, it's just.
Tell all the 5
How
people
about-
that went to the last game, they'll be devastated.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. When that came out and was a story, was the day I learned that women had a hockey program. Like, I was like, oh no shit, you're bitching about not making enough money.
Oh, it's pretty good hockey, actually. They're fucking not bad.
What is with you and chick sports? How do you?
Why?
Even, I didn't even know there was a women's league.
Yeah, there is. I mean, not that I've watched it, but I've seen even the
Are they in bikinis?
no. Hey, Hat's fucking kids hockey team's got a chick goalie. They're stud.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what? I mean, on the boys'
there's
team.
there's chicks that have made it to the NHL.
Yeah,
I mean, the
right.
Tampa Bay Lightning. What's her name? I think she's coming in a few weeks.
In or out. All right.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Toronto, or not Toronto. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay Lightning female goalie.
Yeah, I never heard of this girl in my life.
What's her name?
I'm not even going to try.
Pop her up there. Isn't she hot?
Oh yeah.
92. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
There's another one that lives around here too. That's really
Yeah,
good.
who we were just talking about that with Perry last night was
Yeah.
talking about it. Somebody's
Who's she dating? Football player or something?
whatever.
Don't know enough about it. No, I'm just insulted by that. It's like, look, man, we all wish we could be getting paid whatever we think we deserve, but there's only one way to do that. When you're talking about
Just the questions. Who's the shortest player in the NHL right now? There's all the things about Manon Rhéaume, and then the one is who's the shortest player in the league right now. It's not her, but it's ironic that's what fucking
That's what they wanna know.
That's what pops up.
Why don't they give a... Did they give an answer? Oh, I did the wrong one. Sorry. That's
Yeah,
why.
Nathan Gerbay.
No, I did something. There we go.
is there hitting in women's hockey? Who was the current? What are you trying to find out?
I wanted to see how tall the guy was.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, what, the shortest hockey player?
Yeah. Well, he's
Ty
what he mentioned.
Domi.
He mentioned it, so I don't know. It seems odd that they give the name, but they don't say how tall he is on the answer.
It just seemed like that they assumed. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's all the female associated questions. The
Yeah.
shortest player in there.
So what's the deal on her? Did you pull that up? Did she play for Tampa Bay? I know she did, but how much did she play? Broke the ice for women playing
I think I'll just leave it there.
hockey. In '92, she became the first woman to play in an NHL game when she played goal for the Lightning against St. Louis Blues in an exhibition. She allowed 2 goals on 9 shots. Well, Osgood allowed 3 goals on 2 shots once.
Right.
Remember he said that last night?
Yeah.
So he went to scoop up one off the boards and then threw it right back over his neck into the net. So, yeah.
She's 5'7", by the way. Definitely not the shortest hockey player.
No. Aaron Rodgers, by the way. You like Aaron Rodgers?
Ron.
Aaron Rodgers? I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why, dude. He's just such a douche to me. He's come out and made comments. He wants one thing to stop at Lambeau Field. My only ask is that we don't do the wave when we're on offense.
Is it happening that often that they're
know.
doing the wave while they're on offense?
I don't know.
Well, it's
He finds it distracting.
I mean,
Sure.
the wave usually only gets going maybe a time or two a game.
How
Maybe.
many times you been at Lambeau? You don't know. Maybe they're rocking that fucking
Maybe.
thing all the time. You don't
Yeah.
know. But it's common for a quarterback. You know, I mean, when they have the ball, they want it to be quiet. When the other team has the ball, you want it to be
That
loud
is-
and
yeah,
disruptive
you're
because
supposed to
you
do
can't
that.
hear the audibles. You can't. You know, it disrupts the count and things like that.
So, T-Ray, I'm going to ask you a question. By announcing that you don't want your home fans to do the wave while you're on offense,
Now you just
what
got
have you just done?
8 games that you're going to get the wave up the ass every time you're on the road.
Anybody listening?
Yes.
If you are not a Packers fan and you go to one of their away
Yes.
games,
Right.
your job is to do one continuous fucking wave
Exactly.
for 4
Ford
straight
Field
quarters.
does not just do the wave the entire time.
Slow mo,
Right,
backwards, fast
exactly.
one.
They're going to bring the wave back and get the upper
super-
deck going right, the 2 different directions and shit. Yeah. The good old days.
You just gave the game plan of what was that you find distracting,
Oh, you don't
sir?
like this.
Oh, what was it again? You don't like that distracts you when you're trying to play offense?
Right.
Great. Because I guarantee you the wave was not going on constantly when he was on offense all over the league.
Right.
My guess is it will now.
Let's hope.
5 of their next 6 games are at home, but then there's going to be an awful lot of road games
That's great.
coming up for Green Bay. Hopefully
Yeah.
people remember that.
Let's make sure.
Do we have another read to do?
Hey, if you've suffered a traumatic accident or injury, don't call the Billboard or TV attorneys. Your first call should be to Ogden Legal Triage. Ogden Legal Triage will find you the right personal attorney for your case at no cost to you. They will negotiate the best price and save you time, money, and hassle. Who better to help you find a lawyer but a lawyer? Ogden Legal Triage. For more information, go to firstcalldetroit.com.
Arizona State Trooper, in a bit of trouble. He's accused of sexually abusing and harassing women, holding them against their will during traffic stops, and abuse of power. 8 women came forward to accuse Tremaine Jackson of forcing them to give him sexual favors in exchange for leniency during traffic stops over the past year.
How many?
8 women so far.
8 so far, huh?
You know, I mean, if you're on the job and you can swing an outside deal with someone, come to an agreement.
Should be a negotiation.
I mean, come on, man. You know, if
It should be on the table. It should be an option. Now, if there's forcible, that's a different story. But, nobody wants a ticket.
like, look, if I'm a cop, and we all know I spent one day on the beat, I was one of the boys in blue.
Oh, yeah.
If I go up to someone and I go, look, here's the deal. You were going 10 over. I can write you this ticket. I can. You can, you're going to get a couple points on your license. It's going to be a couple $100 fine. You're going to have to go to court. Whew, sounds like a pain in the ass. Probably have to take an afternoon off from work.
Yeah.
Or you could just hold your hand out like this for a couple minutes. I'll be on my way in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't get that offer.
No?
I
No.
wish I would. I would stand there and be like, God, this is humiliating. Go ahead. Come on. Pump away, sir.
Hurry up. I'm going to be
Come
late.
on. God damn it. Can I help? Let me help you along with that a little bit. Saves me the hassle and the headache of this man's a genius. He's done me a solid.
Sure.
Absolutely done me a solid. This guy's in trouble for this, if you can believe it.
Oh, man. So
He's
he's just
in
doing this
trouble.
right on the side of the road, huh?
I guess. I don't know if he made him pull over and
You all right?
I don't know
Follow
how
me to this secluded spot. We'll talk about this ticket further. Discuss your options.
the trooper was arrested on 61 charges
Wow, wait.
from the 8 women alone.
Wow, there's
Yeah.
a lot of offenses going on there.
His victim account is
That's a pretty fucking staggering average.
well. I'll tell you why, because there's multiple offenses per.
Okay.
So his victim count is believed to be much higher. He's been a cop for like 13 years.
Oh, yeah.
We're just talking the last year.
yeah.
He's been requesting
61
blowies and handies for decades.
Yeah,
probably.
the 61's only off the 8, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fucking impressive average.
Frank
Almost
Milstead.
8 a person.
Yeah. Oh. Almost.
Probably like 7 point something.
Well, here's what his game was. He would make sexual comments, touch women inappropriately, and try to extort sexual favors from them. I'm assuming mostly handies and blowies.
Sure.
We are absolutely
Depends on the
horrified.
offense.
What's that?
Depends on the offense.
So a DUI.
Sure, the punishment fits the crime.
So if you're doing 10 over,
Oh, that's a handy.
that's a handy,
Yeah,
right?
sure. That's a
Get away
quickie
with
in and out. Come on. No
Yeah.
ticket, no points. On your way.
shit faced. You blow 2 times the legal limit.
That one's going to cost you. That one's going to be a little more involved.
Give you a moment to warm up your throat muscles.
Yeah, right.
Back
So
in a
some
moment.
of these might be 2 or 3 offenses per. Some of these might go up into the double digits. You don't know.
To think that under the color of authority, the trust in public places on the shoulder of law enforcement is betrayed by a single trooper that tarnishes the reputation of an agency or a profession, victimizes women on a traffic stop is horrifying.
Animal.
Said no one ever. No, that's what they said. He faces 1 count of attempted sexual assault, 2 counts of sexual abuse, 4 counts each of sexual extortion and attempted unlawful sexual conduct, 8 counts each of kidnapping, forgery, tampering with a public record, among others. The kidnapping, so they count this as kidnapping. He just keeps these bitches at the traffic stop way longer than they should be.
Yeah.
He's just trying to work game.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
What are you doing after this?
He would keep them detained for an unreasonable amount of time.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do here. I'm just really not sure. I'd really like to let you off here, but
And I'd like to get off too, so,
I don't know.
I am in the middle of a double, so I got all the time in the world, sweetheart. The investigation first began on May 15th. A woman came forward, said he made inappropriate comments. She claims Jackson asked her what she was willing to do for him. So, what's wrong with little balls in your court?
Yeah.
So, I'm just halfway through writing this thing, and I just thought,
Yeah.
before I finish it and
Let's
sign
see.
it,
Yeah, that's probably where the forgery comes in.
I'm willing to tear this thing in half, but what are you willing to do for it?
But that's, I'm putting my career on the line here.
Yeah.
I'm really risking myself for you. So,
So then in June,
little quid pro quo.
yeah, that's what they call it. Yeah, a little
Yeah.
quid pro quo. Then in June, authorities received a report that he had sexually assaulted another female driver. As the investigation continued, more women began coming forward with horror stories about Jackson. I implore anyone who has contact with Trooper Jackson, who may have been affected by contact with him, who may have been victimized, to please come forward. So December 15, 2018,
I don't know if
Jackson.
that's a good call, by the way. They got enough to put him away. Do they really want more people coming in that they're going to have to pay out to?
Well, yeah.
I mean, don't they have enough that they should just be like, well, this is good?
Well, they want to look like it's an open and clear and honest investigation.
No, but
They're
they're
doing
just gonna have to
due
transparency.
diligence.
They're going to have to pay all these people at some point here.
How many fat chicks are going back through tickets going,
Fuck me, man. What?
this is him.
God. He never asked me to suck his dick once. I was doing 30 over in a school zone
man.
at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That kind of horse shit is. I would have blown the guy.
What if people found?
Got
What if,
6 points for that.
what if people found out that he was like these chicks you're talking about found out that he was doing this, and that they purposely were driving through his area trying to get pulled over?
Entrapment.
And right?
Yeah,
no,
there you
then
go.
they got pulled over and he didn't
That
do
is
anything. and they're
entrapment.
like,
Reverse entrapment?
Yeah.
So December 15th, 2018, Jackson stops a woman for unsafe lane usage. What is unsafe lane usage? I know what,
She
like,
must have been hot. Saw that one go by and went, whoa, hold on, young lady. You were, I don't know. I don't think you used a blinker back there. I don't know. It just looked unsafe.
was unsafe. Following too closely is another
Yeah,
one. It's
well.
like, following too closely? Yeah, I caught you in the rear view. It looked like you were following too closely. He held her for about an hour, just making her repeatedly over and over, making her perform field sobriety tests. He questioned about her personal life. Caring guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Trying to ease the tension. Tell me about your life. You know what's going on. I don't have a problem with that. And when she asked if she could please leave multiple times, Jackson wouldn't let her. He told her, you got two options here. Jail, or you can get a ride home and a coffee.
God.
A ride home and a coffee?
I'm
Was
going
that the
right home and a
line?
coffee all day, every day.
Wow. See, now, that doesn't seem sexual,
Implied.
is it?
Is it a wink wink? A little ride home and some coffee, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Because coffee's a breakfast drink.
Gotcha. Wow, that's a long-term commitment for a
E?
ticket.
E,
Right.
your options are.
Wait a minute.
Jail.
What the unsafe lane change? Really?
Yeah, but then
Or-
he's
That's
got
what
her
I'm saying.
doing
Like
the.
I think you
How-
can't.
jail is really an
Right.
option for this?
Well, no,
Like,
he's got her doing field sobriety tests for an hour.
Yeah.
So he's going, I smell a little alcohol in your breath.
Well, okay, then she'd be like, so if she was drunk, now we're getting to the escalated, toll, the tax.
Well, that's why it was so steep.
Right.
Jail.
Right.
Oh, ride home and some
Or
coffee,
she- But
baby.
if she wasn't drunk, she'd be like, fuck you. Give me a breathalyzer. I'm fucking leaving. So,
Or he
The
could go.
problem is
there's
no,
more,
obviously
I
no
think
one-
there's
or
more to
no
the
one-
story. I
maybe.
think there's more to the story. I'm just saying.
you believe the
something,
cop?
Something. No, well.
Because he
no,
could just go blow,
just
blow,
saying.
blow, 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 and he's like, God damn, you almost broke my meter. Never seen one so high.
Yeah.
So, puts it back in his back
That is
pocket.
bullshit, man. Sometimes.
Isis? Well, you got two choices here, Isis.
I mean, what are you looking for? I mean, okay,
You can go to jail tonight, or you can get a ride home and a cup of coffee.
I don't know.
This, eat jail for the night, or this.
You know what?
Right.
Look, for
5 minutes.
I'm gonna.
Dark
I'm gonna-
road up north,
You know what I'm
nobody
gonna do?
around.
No one knows. I
DUI
don't have to tell
or a
anyone.
I'm gonna
blowy.
do jail because I'm gonna be able to fucking sue this guy and make money.
Who's going to believe you?
I don't care.
Look at you.
I'll
You
make sure
dress
that
like
it
a
happens.
clown.
I'll know,
track record
I'll
is
know that I'm right.
atrocious.
I'll know that I'm right.
I will be a character witness against you in court.
Well, I gave my answer.
I mean, this is a guy that drinks piss, jacks off 3 times a day. He would not be offended by this. If the cop, it was like, dude, 5 minutes or jail.
Telling you.
Because you're
Long
gambling,
game.
E. What if someone takes advantage of you in jail?
It's not going to be with jail. It's going to be like the drunk tank. This isn't going to be like I'm going to county.
You've never been in the drunk tanky.
Okay, well, whatever. I'm
have.
telling you. I'm telling you.
Some
I'm taking
boys
the
in there,
gamble.
man.
I'm
There's
taking
some
the
boys in
gamble,
there.
and I'm gonna sue him.
Okay.
That's what I'm
Luck
doing.
with that. I'm going to be a character witness against you for him,
I don't know why that would come into play.
for the defense.
Okay.
I
You know,
will
they say
murder
it
you in
costs
court.
like over $10,000 and you lose your license and all kinds of shit for DUI these days, right?
Oh,
know.
yeah.
So you wouldn't do a blow.
Well, I'm going to be making a
10 Gs?
shitload of money, so because I just got sexually assaulted.
Just give a bad blowjob, dude. He didn't say it had to be great.
Sure.
Just start him off.
Right? Just
I already gave my answer, dude. I'm not.
tooth
I'm
the
not
shit out of
changing
them.
it.
I
It's a
thought-
great idea. Do it, but do it so fucking
Toothy
bad. You
blowjobs?
just make it so after like 8 seconds, like fuck off.
Fuck
stop,
off. Just get
outta
out of here. Gross. Ugh. Shame on
Sure,
you.
give me that thing.
You like that? When I
Is that what you-
squeeze the balls as I nibble on the head.
Right? Just a thumb right up the ass. Hey!
The male version of the shocker. Just
Right?
jam 3 fingers up
There
his
you go.
asshole as you bite the helmet, squeeze his bag with the other one.
Are we done here, officer?
We done? Am I good to go now? It's like, just get the fuck out of here. Trying to explain when he gets home why he's got teeth marks on his head, his dickhead.
There's always a way.
See, you didn't think about that. All you had to do was bite the shit out of his helmet, E.
I don't believe that would. Well, whatever. I don't know that would work. Still,
Because then the next morning when you go in and you go, I want this man arrested. He made me suck his dick on the side of the road. And they go, bullshit. Jackson would never do that. And you go, look at his dickhead.
Right,
I
like-
bit the shit out of it. Guarantee there's an impression of these chompers on his dick helmet.
See? That's how you prove your case, see?
Now,
okay, that's
now you're in
big
for a
picture.
mill.
that's fair, but I
That's
still.
definitely getting it. Yeah.
That's a mill.
Yeah.
Easy.
And you're a hero.
Yeah, you know what though, dude? He's gonna still fuck with. He's not gonna be okay with that.
He might beat you up, dude, but you get a couple. I'm telling you, if a cop offers to let you off to suck his dick, bite his helmet, stick 3 fingers in his asshole, and squeeze his balls.
That's the move.
Make sure you bite down hard,
Not
though.
bad.
I mean, seriously, it's one, and then, dude, you're set. If your teeth marks are on his dickhead, and there's a documented stop,
Yep.
you're in the money.
Yeah, that's true. Good
Yeah.
point.
And then you can have drivers.
But see,
from then on.
now you're going to an extreme that I hadn't. See, your first thing was just willing to say, "Ooh, would you suck
Jesus.
his?" No, your first thing was never going to be that. Troy took it that way, and that's not a bad.
That's because Troy's a
version of it.
professional. That's what you should do. That's
but
what
you-
I do.
No, but you were
know
when
I've
you were
never
trying
had
to
a
make
DUI,
when you were
right?
trying to make the first when you were trying to make the first thing though, you're just insinuating.
E.
Would you put your hand like this?
I planted the seed with the hand job. And then
Hey,
T
well-
takes it up to the blow job. Your job then is not to do what T did and find a solution for you. It's your job to get creative and go, yeah, I would. You know what? And we're all going, oh, fucking homo. You go, yeah, I'd bite his fucking helmet, squeeze his balls, and stick 3 fingers in his asshole. See how long he wants that toothy blow job.
I guess
Boom.
I don't know.
That's called being creative. Next level thinking, Easus.
I guess I don't know, man.
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah. Wow.
Gone late. Do we have any more reads, T?
No, that was it. I only had 2. Yoo-hoo. Hey,
Thanks for coming by,
my
kid.
pleasure. My
I love
pleasure.
it. Always have fun. Thank you, Easus. I do like your tuxedo shirt. I'm sorry it ripped.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend. What are the Lions doing this weekend?
I think
Losing.
they're playing football. They got the Chargers.
Chargers Sunday at Ford Field.
Home, yes.
Yeah.
The home opener.
They got a game tonight, too. Thursday night football.
Yeah. Yep. It's Thursday.
Anyway, thanks, everybody, for the birthday wishes. I do appreciate it. I know fucking around and stuff, but I do appreciate that. With that, we'll call it a day. See you, everybody. Have a great weekend.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to